All right. So in the last session, we discussed about the actually process. Now today we are going to discuss about practical session. Okay. So today we are going to see a practical session on Azure as well as the other components. Okay. So what are the other components that we are going to work? Let's discuss one requirement, guys. Okay. I'll be discussing one requirement. The requirement here is okay. Before going to the develop a practical session, going to this, let me tell you about the actual process. Let's take example. I have some data. I have different formats of data. Okay, this is my different formats of data. Let's open the data into some Notepad++, right? And this data, I want to do some analysis. So what are the things, what are the challenges audible now? Please confirm now if I'm audible now. Okay. Any issues? All right. So you can see here, I have a different formats of data. If I take some Parquet file, if I take a Parquet file, what file it is? Product file. If I take a data in a JSON, do you have any JSON format file here? JSON file data. Can we do the analysis this data? Can we understand this data?
No.
Right? At least can we understand the CSV or TXT data?
Yes, somewhat.
Exactly. So this data can be easily understandable, but on top of this data, what my client is requesting, they want to do some analysis on top of this data. They want to see what are the salaries based on the countries and how many employees are there and what are the sum of salaries are there for each country wise. How we can bring those insights, because business are required this kind of information. Can I sum of this Canada 1, 2, 3? Can I do count? Is that possible?
It'll take a lot of time.
A lot of time, exactly. It will take a lot of time. Okay, so anyone here, report developer, who can help me with this data? I want to see the analysis like country-wise sales. Sales means I just want their salaries and the employees counts. Anyone can do that?
Yes, we can use aggregate functions for these reports.
Aggregate functions, where you will use that? Aggregate functions, where you're going to use that? Said
For report generation, I can use for my Ola function, also aggregate function, both are can use. You can use aggregate function with group like love. So if you want to control sum of salary, then
when you
can
use
give
aggregate function, when you have data in your database, then
in
only you can write a
database.
query.
Yes.
As I'm asking about the report level, any chance that we can bring in the report and we can do this operations summarized? Because client is always see summary level. Power BI, yes, we do, sir. In Power BI, okay, you do in Power BI, that's okay. How many files you can do in Power BI in report level? Not only about a Power BI, any other report level. If you do, tell me how many files you can do in that reporting level. 1 file, 2 file, 3 files. It's very big challenge when you know Power BI also, when you have the option to bring a data from the file, from the JSON file, from the different format file, it is a big challenge. You can attempt as a one time, but you cannot process those many files, those many millions of records. Somebody is saying me that we can do in Excel. Yes, definitely you can do in Excel. When you don't have any knowledge, this data you can do in Excel. Can we do in Excel? Let me see. Definitely you are correct. You can do in Excel. Do you want me to show you in Excel? Let me show you in Excel as well. What is that comma, right? Comma separated. Each are individual column. Very simple. Yes. I will do a pivot and I'll give you the counts of employee IDs. These are my counts of employee IDs. And these are my sum of salaries. These are like sum of salaries. You are correct. You can do in Excel. What is it? This is my countries. This is my country wise. Their counts, their salaries. This is my high level information. You can do that. You're absolutely right. And also additional to that, I will tell you, you can add a graph also. Let me show you that graphs, pie chart, line chart, 3D, 2D, which graph you want. All type of dimensions you can add. Almost how much it is covered? 25% it is covered. The counts by India region, country wise, colors. But in Excel also, now I will tell you what is the disadvantage with Excel. When you have Excel, why you are going with up to other reportings? You can do analysis, you can do aggregate, you can do summarize here. But here you can manage only with structured data. Same data, if I give you format in JSON, in Parquet format, the Parquet format, can you bring this product data? This is a product data actually, product data. This is my JSON data. Can you do in Excel? Quite difficult. Okay, still you are managing anyhow, but this Excel will support max to max 10 lakh records. Up to what? 10 lakh records. If you put 5 lakhs, you do operations, tell me what will be happen there. If you put 5 lakhs also records in Excel, your completely CPU will utilize more. High utilization. But we get every day millions of records. It is not easily possible to manage with one format or one process in Excel. We have to manage, we have to build a process that business runs smoothly, end-to-end run processes smoothly. That is what nowadays they're paying lakhs of salary to the BI developers are called so data engineer developer, BI developer is not a different. The same process, same work. So we are processing, we are making automation to run smoothly with whatever the format it is, whatever the structure, whatever data it is, we are developing it. What? ETL pipelines. And that ETL pipelines, we are converting that to extraction, transformations. What is a transformation? Transformation is nothing but when you cook the food, what you do. If you want to cook a biryani, you need ingredients, you need water, you need to wash it, you need to clean that, then you have to start cooking. Those are like transformation steps you're doing. Before cooking it, you are doing all this ingredient stuff. Here also, while cooking the data, you need to do all this stuff called transformations. Those are like transformations. Right? After that, we are giving a data to the different layers. And that clear data will be served this data, a correct format of data in a form of presentation by these report developers. So now we will see a practical example. Okay, I'm going to show you a practical example. Let me log into portal.azure.com. I told you yesterday there's a login called portal.azure.com. In this portal, what we will do is we will bring a data from Azure process. Okay, we will bring a data from the Azure process. Right, this is my actually a portal. So I'm going to show you one example, guys, so that you people can easily understand. So let me show you one example. Let me take one case study, okay? So that you'll understand about this case study. Where is that? Don't worry, I'm not going to tell you about all these presentations. I'm not going to waste your time. First, we'll understand the process method, then we'll go for the other thing. So by seeing this picture, you got at least you are able to understand what we are going to do, right? By seeing this picture, we can understand what we are going to do and what are the services are required when you start a project, right? When you start any BI project, first what you're going to do, you require a software. You required a project. In that, you required a softwares like storages to store the data, to manage the data, to process the data. We required the another software. If your data is in somewhere in other country or another location or your on premises, there's a separate process called gateways. If your data is in database, you want to load in data into database, this database license are required, and followed by the reporting last. So same process we are understanding through the process called different architecture, with a different architecture called medallion architecture. So we bring a data from the clouds, databases, storages, APIs, on premises. These all are called data sources from where we actually get our data. And this data can be processed in multiple different options by using data flow, by using data pipeline, by using notebooks, by using data bricks. Multiple different ways we can do our data processing, right? So same kind of example I am taking here, guys. A very simple example. Let's understand this is my application. This is my example API as source. This is my API as a source. So please mute your mics. Any questions, doubts is there? I will answer your doubts and questions once the class is complete, okay? Otherwise, all will get disturbed. All right, so what we will do is we first need a storage account. Whether it's a blob storage, whether data lake storage, what are the types of storage, we'll discuss in coming session because that will be a big topic again. We have a document, what are the types, we'll discuss later point. But as of now, in the cloud, we want these all services. These all services we want. Let's see how to. I'm logging to the portal.azure.com, portal.azure.com. In that, what I want for service is storage account. Can I create one by one, step by step? Yes. Let me create a storage account. I don't know where to go and how to search. There is a search box. And don't worry about this option. I am going to show you in regular classes. All these options we'll discuss. But you are acting like a virtually, you are installing something in your cloud, in your account, not in your local system. Nothing is required from the local system. So now you are installing storage account like a Google Drive. Here we call storage account. Click on storage account, create new storage account. And here is my project name you have to provide. Very simple. See, I'm just filling like a form. Are you feeling any difficult to see? No, right? Very simple process. Because we are using a cloud. This is like a portal. In portal, we are installing it. In somebody's environment, we are installing it. I just want to create a new project. I'll click on create. This is like Vinay Tech Azure Demo Project or Resource. Anything name you can give. And here I want to give a storage account name. Let's example Vinay Tech Azure storage account. I've given more. Vinay Tech Azure storage. Vinay Tech Azure storage. And where you want to load physically? I told you in the last session, wherever you create in your cloud, there is a backend on behalf of you. Somebody is working. Your Microsoft team is working on behalf of you. Whatever you install, that all will be installed in backend called data center. Right? That is called data center, Microsoft data centers. Nowadays, they are storing the data center in the oceans also. Anybody heard about that? They're storing in the oceans. They're big data centers because we have to maintain such temperature. I think we have Microsoft data centers in oceans. I think we got recently that project. I heard somewhere working there like something like the data centers are they maintain under the water, their data centers. Okay, it's not completely designed like we have such data centers because it has to maintain such temperature. So you don't need to worry about the data center. Okay, we are not discussing about kind of data centers. We are discussing about the storage, where exactly to store, the region. Now you can select where you want to get the store your physical data. You are acting like a virtual. Definitely, you are acting like a virtual here, no doubt. But the physically store in this location called EastUS. And what type of account you want? It may be a blob, it may be a data lake. Anything I can convert. By default, it will be a blob. Otherwise, you want to go with a data lake. Now the question is, what is data lake? What is blob? You may have a doubt. As a non-technical background, you definitely have a doubt on this. Even the people who don't know, you may have a doubt. Sir, what is blob, what is data lake? Don't worry, I'm going to give a comparison. I'm going to create both accounts and I'll show you. Because as we are running as a free class and limited time, I may not able to cover everything points. So we will cover everything one by one in the regular classes, guys. If anything is missed, you tell me, I will cover that as well. No issues. Okay, now redundancy. The redundancy is something like I told you in the last class, LRS, ZRS, backups. Different locations, it maintains 3 copies of data. In data center, in East US, you selected East US. In East US, there are maintained 3 copies of data, 3 racks. ZRS, zone wise, geographically, multiple different ways we can store. So just review and create. Simple process, very simple, and your storage is ready. Now question here is, again you will might be getting a question, sir, where is the space? How much GB you're storing it? You didn't selected any 1 GB, 2 GB, 3 GB. Where is the storage? Okay, I'll show you that. Let it get deployed. Everything is through notification. It is not in our control. But sir, I want to parallelly, I want to install one more thing. Yes, you can do that. I can make a duplicate, one more duplicate. I want to this time I want to install Azure SQL database. You don't require any license. What is that? SQL database. Simple. See, it is deployment succeed. My deployment is ready. Can you see my data? Actually, not data, the storage actually. What is the storage name? Vinay Tech Azure Storage. And you can see here what are the service? Blob service, file service, queues, tables, and what data you want to maintain here? Blob. Just upload it. Create a folder. Folder is like example. This is my source logs. Example source logs. It's like a folder. Inside this folder, I am going to upload some files like a drive, Google Drive. How you will upload a file? Here also I'll upload a file. Which file? Country file I want to upload. Or I want to upload other format of files. Let's example, I want to see some JSON data. JSON data is there. Let's suppose there's a Parquet data is there. Any format you can upload a data. Order is there, Parquet is there, region is there. These are like Parquet format. Parquet format of data. All right, so any format of data you can store here. Any format of data you can store. You can present. Same data if I open the Parquet. Will you able to understand this data? No, I cannot understand this data. But actually the data is there. So this data is ready here. Who is uploading, how they are uploading, that is not our headache. Right? Somebody will be asking me who is going to upload this data. There's a separate team. Once the class is complete, I will show you my process in my company. There's a separate team. Application team is there. If everything you do work, then what they will do the work? Front end team, what they will do? Everything if you do, what is their work then? Right? So they are going to make sure that the data present in the storage account. Our work is not to bring a data here. Our work is to pick a data from these places. Our work is to pick the data from these data sources. Now my data source is blob storage. I can upload anything here. So first point is we created this account. The second point is I'm going to create this one. Azure SQL database. How to create? Very simple. In the second tab, I want database. Why we want database? The question is, you can ask me, sir, why you are loading a data into the database? The question here is, why are you loading the data into the database? What is the purpose? Whenever you are doing a development, first understand what is the use of that, any benefit with that, any advantages to the business. What is the purpose? Loading the data into the database. Anyone know, guys? I'm just creating a pipeline. We are just loading a data. But what is the purpose? You can ask me, sir, what is the use of this loading a data into a database? You can ask me a question. Why can't you analyze the data here only? Why are you loading a data into a database? Any specific reason, guys? Anyone know why we are loading a data into a database?
We upload filtered data in database.
Filter data. We can't filter the data here in Azure storage. We can't filter the data in Excel. We can't filter data in Excel. We can't filter data in a CSV. Is that only the reason of filtration? Or any other points? Come on, it is correct or wrong. Everyone here is to learn the process. If you tell me correct, if you tell me wrong, that's okay, no problem. Other will understand. Everyone here is to learn, to get, to gain, and our end target is to bring into a good package, good job, right? Anything is it. This kind of questions they'll ask in the interviews, guys. I'm not asking this. Interviewer will ask this. I'm not going to ask because I am also going to take interviews for my process. Many students, old students, you can see, ask them. They're working in my company, not my company. The where I'm working, they're also working. Many students. This kind of questions, silly questions they'll ask. Sir, you gave me requirement. You are asking me to load the data from here to here. Then again, you are asking me what is the purpose, right? Every day you are going to load morning 7 a.m. because this will your transactions, whatever the transactions are there, it will be closed. Your store will close at 10 p.m. Example, you understand? Your DMart is closed by the 10 p.m. By 10 p.m. to morning 6 a.m. there is no transaction. So immediately, I mean, till 8 p.m. there is no transaction. Immediately 1 hour of job, I will take a buffer time. I will start loading a data into my database. So the database is something manage a process data, proper data, understandable data, and historical data we can manage easily. And you can write any sort of query. You can ask any type of questions where you cannot do on file level. Any type of filtrations. Yes, structured data, which is for the reporting, that is exactly correct for the reporting, no doubt. And also historical data, understandable data, filtration purpose, easily managed purpose in form of rows and columns. And always remember, guys, 99.9% we go reports from the database only. 99%. If some companies are going with those things, is okay, no issues. But always in the BI process, data engine process, the reporting we will keep always easily to manage. Always we go with the databases. So let's see practically how to create. So I'm just creating, this is my SQL database. Now I'm going to create in the same project the database name, like let's take Azure SQL database, or I can take customer database also. And the database requires some server. So I'm creating Vinay Tech SQL server, Vinay Tech SQL server. And this Vinay Tech SQL server, they are saying it is no more available in this location. Why I don't have access? Okay, maybe this location is not allowing me. Can I try with other location? Yes, I am able to do. So we will discuss more about the SQL Server, guys. As of now, I am taking same name as a username. To connect to the server, password you have to provide and click continue. Click OK. That's it. So don't worry, we will discuss this all points again in the regular class. Now you can select the database size. You want 10 GB, you want 200 GB, you want 300 GB, you can select the price. You can select the size as well. And you can see here, when I go high range, high premium, when I'm decreasing it to 20 GB, can you see my cost? Any changes? Can I increase the cost? GB of data? It is increasing? No. Can I increase the 250? Any changes? Can I increase more 500 GB? 400 GB? No change. 500 GB? No change. So when you observe here, when you purchase a laptop also, you may be observing there, when you have a 500 GB in your laptop, and that 500 GB have X amount, and when you increase more 1 TB, that will be not much cost difference. If you have a core CPU is like 4-core processor, if you increase the CPU more 4-core processor, your configuration amount completely will change. Anyone know why? Yes, you are correct. The performance is very, very important. The system performance. If you increase the performance, they will give you double. Similarly, if you do give you performance in your company, you will get the hike. If you don't perform in the companies also, they will not give you hike. Similarly, here also, if you increase the performance of that database, you can see the cost. It is multiplying with that performance. So here we don't know about where is the CPU, memory, input output unit, and other disk. We don't know about it. We are running in virtually. That always measure through integration, data integration unit, database transactions unit, data warehouse unit, or data capacity units. We measure with units. We measure with the units, guys. So we have a list of units. I'm going to help you with that. Don't worry. But as of now, I'm just selecting 1 GB of disk, which is around $4.9. It is not going to charge anymore. It is just estimated. It may or may not be based on uses. Click on apply. Again, backup here also showing. Review and create. Done. This portion is also ready. First portion, data is ready. Second portion, database ready. What is the third service we want? The main important factor of this course is data fact. Now let's see. This is something like you can see when you want to travel from Hyderabad to Bangalore. How you will travel? By bus, train, aeroplane, right? This is like a traveling your data from one storage to another storage. It will travel, it will take your data, it will move to the destination. That is called data factory. So you may have a question again here. Sir, you said bus, train, aeroplane. What are those things? Some companies are use data factory. Some companies are SSIS model. Some companies are Fabric. Some companies are use Databricks. Some companies use Informatica. Should I learn everything? Not required. See the current market situation. What is the current market situation? And in the data engineering, what are the tools are exactly using it? Go with that market. Go with the opportunities. Okay. Now let's see how we can create. Again, it is deploying. You can go again back. I'm going to take a duplicate of this. Now this time I want to design a data factory. Already it is available here, data factory. Let me click on data factory and I'm going to create a data factory called ADF some name review and create. Don't worry, I'm going to again explain this later point. We have less time, so I'm just directly creating it. So in your computer, once the installation is complete, you cannot install another one. But here you can see as many as tab you can open. See, before deploying the database, my data factory is ready. Can you see here? How many accounts are created? Database we created, storages are ready, ETL tool is ready in my project. Can I open this? Let's see here. This is a main important factor of this course called data factory. Only three things you need to understand: development. After development, you can schedule, monitor, and for the development, you have a connection. That's it. Only three things you have to understand. Three things: development. Let me develop a pipeline. The pipeline is about to load the data from the blob storage to database. This is my pipeline name. And I'm going to perform one activity. What activity? Some work I'm going to perform, which actually data copies from blob to SQL database in the tables. Okay, where is the table? Okay, it is got created. This is my database now. This is my customer database. This is my customer database. How much GB it is having? You can see in the left hand side, compute storage. Can I see here how much GB is there? Or if you don't know about this one, let me show you overview so that you people can understand here. Monitor tab, here you can see there is a 1 GB storage is there. Do I require any DBA team here to tell me how much GB is left, how much GB is allocated, how much is used? They write a queries in backend, system queries. Now we don't require. So if you want to increase one more GB, simply go to the compute and storage and just increase one more GB and click on apply. Simple. So scale up, scale down anytime. Now can I see? I'll go to the overview again. Now I'll see how much GB is increased. Can you see here? 2 GB is increased. Do I require anybody help? DBA is required. IT teams are required. No, nothing. Right? So I'm going to create one table. How to create a table? So don't worry what settings I'm doing. You no need to worry at this point. In the regular class, you'll get to know about the settings. Now you just need to focus on the table part. So where is the table? Where you can write a table? Because to load the data, we require table, right? So there is a left-hand side, there is a editor is there. SQL editor is there. So here you can create your own table. As per your table, you can create. What is my password? I am not, yes, I remember that. So I can create a new table. Create table. The table name is, let's suppose, or revenue or some customer revenue details. So where we have a CID, CNAME, salaries or revenues, then country information, right? This is my table. Do you want to see what is the data in this table? Let me show you what is the data in this table. So this is my actually data. Nothing is there here. No data is available. So what I'll do is, okay, so here I'm going to load the data. So how am I going to load the data? By using data pipeline. Can you see here? The source is, what is our source? Our source is here. Data is available here. Where is the target? Target is here. We created one table also. So by using this, I will pick a data. I will process the data. Let's see here, guys. So very simple. My source is a new source. So this is what we have ready to use connections. You no need to write a code, anything here. You can use ready connections. This many connections you have. Earlier, we don't have those many connections in on-premises. We was using third-party connectors. But now you have everything is available inside your data factory. All the sources you can bring from any other platform. Even we don't know about these platforms, right? But my data is in Azure Blob Storage. In which format? Whatever format you like, you can select. This is my source country-wise data set. For that, I want to just create one connection. Don't worry about this connection. I'm going to help you in this because at this point you may not be able to understand. Okay, so you remember that I have a one folder here. Which folder? The container name was source logs. Now you have to tell source log. If you don't remember, you can select from the browse in Data Factory. That is called source log. Which file you want to pick? Just select that file. Click OK. That's it. Click OK. Can you see the data? Preview the data. Just click on preview the data. Yes, these are the data I want to move to where? In the target of database. Now I'm going to click on new database, SQL Server database. Here I want to move. So it is in the same account. The server name is Vinay Tech SQL Server. The database name is customer database. The user name is Vinay Tech SQL Server is my username. And I have entered some password. I will test those password, whether the password is correct or wrong. I will test. If it is success, then I'm going to create the connection. And how many tables you have? Right now we have only one table, customer revenue details. The question here is, sir, if I don't have table, can I able to run? Yes, definitely you can able to run. You can create at runtime also. You can create at runtime. Definitely you can create at runtime, no doubt. I will show you in the coming session how to create that. So you can do full load, you can do incremental load, you can run with stored procedure as a delta process. Which one you want? What your company is saying, go with that. So mappings. Mapping is very, very important, guys. Mapping is very, very important. Now you see what is important. If I run, it will fail because other than country, no records, no columns are matching other than this country. Okay, sorry guys. Okay, so let's see what is the mapping here. The actually column is coming as EAD. Here we have E name. Here we have a salary map with the revenue because you are saying that this data should go here. This data should here. This data should go here. If you don't map properly, then the data is going to be wrong. Now I'm going to run. Let's see the magic. Let me run this. Click on execute. It started the process. It started the process. Right? It executing it. Do you want to see what exactly it is running? Let's see here. There's a three things. One is input, other one is output, and other is picture. Let me refresh again. And how much duration is taking? 49 seconds. Can I refresh again? 54 seconds. Actually, it is loaded, but it is still showing it. Do you want to see the data? Let me see whether it is loaded or not. It is actually loaded, but it is sometimes it refresh more. See, it is actually data is loaded, but still here showing us in progress. That's okay. That is a refresh problem. That is not our problem. It is a refresh problem. Now you can see the actually output. What we are doing, the data is processing from the blob storage to the database storage. How many records is read, how many files has been written, how many records has been written, this is all it's showing. 83 records is loaded. Can I check once again how many records you can see in the last bottom, or you don't know about this, you can simply select a process of count star. 83. Now your data is ready here. What is the next step? Can we only serve the food, or somebody will serve the food to the client, to the customers? It's your choice. You want to hire a Power BI developer, hire it. You don't want to hire a developer, don't hire. That is the reason the jobs are getting reduced to the Power BI developer. This work I will do it. You give me one more salary, one more lakh, I will do that by creating a Power BI report. See, in simple way, I'm going to create a blank report, and I want to get the data more from where? From the Azure. I want to get the data from the Azure. There are multiple different storages. Get it from the database. What is your server name? The server name here is, what is my server name? Yeah, when you go to the overview, you will find your server name here. Can you see a server name? Copy that server name. Paste it. What is your database name? Customer database. Paste it. Click OK. Click on OK. Provide user ID, password. Already we have used that password, user ID and password in the cache. That is the reason it didn't ask me. But when I create some other name, it's going to ask you the server name, user ID and password. And this is my actually data. This is my data. Click on load. Load means for presenting the data. In Excel also, you remember I just loaded the data in Excel from CSV to here I have loaded. And then I presented the data. This is not a ETL tool, guys. This is just a reporting tool. Don't say Power BI is ETL tool. No, it is just a presenting tool. Like how you have Excel, similarly Power BI is also one of the presenting tool. Now this data I am going to present. How you want to present? In form of dashboards, in form of graphs. How you want to present, you present. Your choice. So based on the requirements, we will create, and I want to show the data, the revenue, the counts. In this pie chart, I want to show my data revenue wise, countries, and here I want to show the count wise countries, and here I'll show you total counts, and here I will show you total revenue generated. Can you see my data report, dashboard reports? And you can see there is a 9 count which is coming for the Canada. The moment I click on this 9, which is covered almost 37% in revenue. 37%, yes, which is around 3 million revenue. And there are 9 employees, 9 count. Okay, I understand. If your developer, data engineer developer, example, by mistakenly, let's example take, he executed, he again executed. What will happen? By mistakenly, he was executed again. Morning they have already run, but they don't know. Again, he has came, and in the evening he started the process. What will happen in the report? There are counts will be doubled. Instead of 2, it will be 4, 9 plus 18, 16 plus 16, 34, 50, then 62. Now other clients will go and they'll refresh the data. I want to refresh the data. Now what will happen? Data will be changed. Data will be changed here. Okay, data will get changed. Can you see in the report now? Click on refresh. Data will get changed. Now, who is responsible for this? Who is going to fix this issue? Anyone here, Power BI developer? So this is the data got doubled. Where Power BI people will fix this issue, right? Now we will do a backtrack process. We will work on ticketing tool in real time. We work with a ticketing tool. Client raised the issue. What issue? Client raised by saying that there is a data issue. Who is the here is a client or user, you can say whatever it is. He got a report and he will raise the team to this team, and this team what they will do, he will see the where it is connected semantic model, it will check data got duplicated in the report. Here also it's showing duplicate. Now this people will send this data to the data engineering team. They will backtrack here. by the data engineer team. They will backtrack here. Then they'll open the report. I mean, the ETL. He will see any logics are there. Again, he will go back to this one. Slowly, he will go back to the source. If source also having 10 records, but in your table is showing 20, then they will get a conclusion somewhere it is got duplicated record. So they need to implement a logic called either the full load, delta load, incremental load, and other different type of loading techniques you have to understand. Okay, otherwise it will be a problem. Now you run 100 time also. I am going to implement one process called before loading a data. I'm going to tell that delete my entire data from where? From this table. Which table? This table. So you run 100 time also, there will be no problem. There will be no problem. You run again. You run again, no issues. Because I implemented a condition that one logic, one restriction, whenever you start, before starting, my data will get deleted. And then it will load fresh data. So there is no chance of data duplications. Simply I'll go now, I'll refresh here my report. I'll ask the client to refresh after 5 minutes. Can you see your data now? Still you see 62 records. So okay, no issues. We'll wait 1 or 2 minutes till my job is run. Once it is complete, I will refresh the report. Here I will refresh. I will refresh the report. I will refresh. Can you see now? It came in the original data. Earlier there was a 62 records, 50 records, 16 records, 18 records. Is that clear? So this is how we going to fix the process by implementing. Even you no need to go to a backtrack when you implement such logics. So there are different type of activities we have, guys. Different type of transformations we have. We have different type of transformations, joins, conditions, plate, union all, lookups, derived column, aggregations also you can do. You can arrange the data based on the ranks, Windows functions, sort, filter. These are like conditions, these are like transformations. And people who have come from the Power BI background, for them also they implemented a Power Query operations. You can do a Power Query operations here. Directly Power Query is available. You can utilize that operations, Power Query operations here for transformation purpose. See, for transformation, you can use all these transformations. Whatever transformations are there, you can utilize that. People come from the incremental, they have CDC option. And you don't need to go third party tool. You can schedule here every day, daily, weekly, hourly, monthly. However we want, you can do that. There's an option called schedule. You want daily, weekly, hourly, you can schedule it. Very simple process. I want monthly, minute, hour, weekly once, weekly twice. Wednesday, Friday, I want only on particular time, I will run this. This is called automation process. And you have a code repositories. Not only about this, you have code repositories. You can store a data, you can store codes, you can do the Git repository, you have ARM templates. Many concepts are there, guys. Now we got a Microsoft Fabric also. One of the concept called Microsoft Fabric, that is also I'm going to cover because that is a new technology called Microsoft Fabric. When you know Azure, it is very easy, guys. Believe me, I am taking a classes in the morning, 3 batches. You can go and check. In that, almost like all are manager level in the morning batch. So I'm going to cover that Azure and Fabric both in this regular session. Clear? Any questions? Any doubts?